Hi, I'm Uma Raj with Tech Help. Welcome to Excel functions in 15 minutes. We will continue to look at the count functions, and in this tutorial we learn about COUNTIF and COUNTIFs. COUNTIF, as you imagine, is a combination of the count function and an if condition or a criteria. And the syntax of the count function is range and criteria. Range is any range or set of cells where you want to find number of cells depending on what your criteria is. And this criteria can be a text, a number, an expression. And you can also use any of these logical operators like equal to, greater than, less than, not equal to, any of these logical operators in your criteria. So we will look at our first example. It's a product table, products sold by country and the number of units sold and the date. And in the first example, we want to find a particular product, how many of a particular product is there in this list. So for example, we will see how many Montana products are there in the product column. So equal to, and the syntax is COUNTIF, your range, that is D6 all the way to D20, and your criteria is Montana. And since this is a string or text, you have to put it in quotes, double quotes. So this is the syntax COUNTIF, D6 all the way to D20, Montana, and enter, and it will give number 9. So there are 9 Montana products in this list. So since this is a small one, we can just double check and see that count is 9. All right, the next one is again similar to what we just did, but on a different range. Number of times France is repeated in the country list. So how many times France is repeated in this list, in this column? So again, count equal to COUNTIF C6 all the way to C20, and the criteria is France, and you have to put it in double quotes since it is a text, and it returns 2, and you will see that there are two times France is repeated in the list. The third example is we want to find how many times less than 1,000 units are sold in the units column. So again, no problem, equal to COUNTIF, and your range is here, E6 all the way to E20, and your criteria is less than 1,000. You can put your expression like this, less than, only the less than symbol in quote, and an ampersand or the AND operator and the 1,000 number. You can concatenate or you can join these two with that ampersand sign like this, or you can write it like this, where you can put the entire value in double quotes. Then you don't need an ampersand. You are putting it in both the number also in double quotes. Both expressions are right, and it returns 4. So there are 4 values which are less than 1,000 in the units sold list. And the next one is a little more trickier than what we just saw. Number of units between 1,000 and 2,000. So how many times units sold between 1,000 and 2,000. So what are the numbers between 1,000 and 2,000 in this list? So what we have to do is you have to find first how many are there in less than 2,000. The same way we just did this for third one, COUNTIF, your range, less than 2,000. So the less than 2,000 also include everything less than 1,000, right? So we have to remove that less than 1,000 numbers from this to get values between 1,000 and 2,000. So COUNTIF, range, less than 2,000, subtract or minus, again COUNTIF, same range, E6 to E20, less than 1,000. So once you subtract these two, it will bring your total of 5 numbers. You can just see that there are manually you can look at it and find that there are 5 numbers in this which fall into between 1000 and 2000. Since we are talking about functions, we will see how functions are evaluated. You can just watch and see how every function is evaluated. So just click on that formulas tab and just select your function and go to that formulas auditing, go to that evaluate formula button and click on that. So it's showing your function here, COUNTIF, range less than 2000 and minus COUNTIF, your range less than 10,000. So we can either enter through each step or you can just click on that evaluate. So just click it once and it's going to evaluate the first part of the function. Just click on once more and it's showing 9. That means there are 9 numbers in the list in your range which is less than 2000. Now click on evaluate one more time. So it's going to do the second one. Click on it. It says 4. So there are 4 values less than 1000 and 9 values less than 2000. So we want is this one minus this one. So evaluate one more time and it comes up with function. So that is how the function comes up with that number. So you can check any functions whether it's working correctly or not. You can just use the evaluate formula and check that. Okay, now we are going into the next function called COUNTIFs. As the name implies, if there are more than one criteria to find the number of numbers in a range or cells, you can use COUNTIFs. And COUNTIFs is only available from 2000 onwards and earlier versions don't have this function. So only from Excel 2007 onwards. All right, and the syntax is COUNTIFs, criteria range 1, criteria range 2, criteria. You can have as many criteria as you want. I mean, more than sufficient for your normal practical uses. So the first one, we are just redoing all the functions we already did in the COUNTIF. Here we found that how many Montana products are there in this function. So we are going to add one more condition to that. We want to see how many Montana products are here for the country starting with CA. So as we saw earlier, the criteria can be a text, a number, or it can be a logical function. It can also use some wildcard. Ifs, range, D7 all the way to D21. Your first range here, first condition is Montana, comma. Second range is your country. So it is C7 all the way to C21. And your condition is again in double quotes, CA, that is country starting with CA and an asterisk. So that means any country starting with CA and asterisk means you can have any letters after that. So instead, if I have any other country with a name starting with CA and some other names, it will pick up that too. And enter. So we will get 3. So we have 3. There is one Canada here, and Canada here with all the Montana products. So there are 3, I mean, it's actually here, not there. There are 3 places where Canada and Montana are coming together. So it picks all that 3 numbers. The next one is number of times France is repeated in the countries list where units are sold more than 1900. So we are again having 2 conditions here. We already saw that number of times France repeated in this country is 2 times. So we added one more condition because the unit sold should be more than 1900. So equal to COUNTIFs, the country range C7 all the way to C21, and in double quotes France, Your next range is units, that is E7 all the way to E21, and your range is again greater than and 1900. So you can have it this way, or you can have everything in double quotes. So we saw that there is only one place France is having units more than 1900, so it comes up with 1. And in the third example, again we are seeing number of units sold, which is less than 100,000. Products is Montana, and country is Germany. So we are having 3 conditions here: country range, unit sold range less than 1000, and the product Montana, and the country is Germany. Because COUNTIFs is not case sensitive, so you can write Germany like this, or Germany all in caps, or anyway. It doesn't have to be the same as in the table, because it's case sensitive. Whichever way you write, it picks it. So we just put, that's why I just put Germany like this. So it all the number with satisfying all these 3 conditions is only 1. There is only one place the units are sold less than 1000, product is Montana, and the country is Germany. And the next one is the same as we did in the last COUNTIF example, the number of units between 1000 and 2000. So there we did less than 2000, then we subtracted the values from less than 1000. Here we don't have to do it, because we can have multiple conditions in one expression, in one function. So what we do is COUNTIFs, number units sold range less than 2000, and again the same range where the numbers are more than 1000. So it brings all the numbers between 1000 and 2000. So that is the difference between these 2 expressions. Here we had to do one, then subtract the other. Here we can have both the expression in one. And one more we will see: number of units sold above 2500, and the date is less than 2000. Even dates can be in your criteria range. So how many times that units are sold more than 2500 in the range less than 1/15/2005. So we will see the COUNTIFs, units greater than 2500, and this is your dates range. The date is less than 1/15. There are only 2 times the units are sold less than 2500, greater than 2500, and the date is less than this, our criteria date. So those are the differences between COUNTIF and COUNTIFs, and you just saw some examples how they compare and how they are different from each other. And as I said, COUNTIFs is not available earlier versions than 2007. So if you like this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. We will see soon with another Excel function, and in the meanwhile, play with Excel and practice, and thank you for watching.